If you still hesitate when you tell a story, your listener feels it instantly, and today we fix that by giving you one tense that makes you sound fluent without adding complicated words. You're here because you want control, not just correctness. In the next few minutes, past continuous will stop being a rule you remember and become a tool you use automatically. And later, I'll give you one advanced insight that quietly upgrades your tone in conversations, the kind of insight that makes people think, this person really speaks English. But first, I want to challenge you. Most learners only speak in finished facts. They say what happened. Fluent speakers also show what was happening. That difference is the line between sounding like a student and sounding like a speaker. Past continuous is was or were plus ing. You know that. But meaning comes first. Past continuous is a moving background. It tells your listener, this action was alive at that time. Repeat after me. I was working. You were studying. He was driving. We were talking. Again, with stronger rhythm. Perfect. That already sounds more confident. Now, the brain shortcut. When you hear a specific past time, your brain should switch to a camera mode. At 7 last night. At 10 this morning. At that moment. It invites past continuous because it asks, what was in progress? 3-second answer. At 7 last night, I go. Was studying. Was eating. Was driving. Exactly. You just upgraded your sentence structure. Now, we open our first curiosity loop. Past continuous also helps you sound more polite when explaining yourself. I'll show you soon. Next, the power move. 2 actions meeting. This is where you start sounding like a storyteller. Background plus interruption. I was doing something when something happened. Say it. I was walking when it started raining. I was talking when she interrupted me. I was sleeping when the alarm went off. Good. That is cinematic English. Here's a quick correction challenge. Which sounds natural? I was sleeping when the alarm rang. Or I slept when the alarm rang. 3 seconds. The first one. Yes. Sleeping is the background, rang is the interrupting moment. That pattern is everything. Now, progress space CTA. If this is already making your speaking feel smoother, subscribe. We're building fluency with daily lessons, and your results depend on consistency. Let's build speed. I'll give you prompts. You build the sentence in 3 seconds. Prompt 1, at 9 p.m. yesterday, she, go, was watching TV. Good. Prompt 2, while I was cooking, they, go, were setting the table. Nice. That's how professionals speak. Prompt 3, we were driving when, go, when the tire blew out. Perfect. Now, tension spike. This is where most people fail. They use past continuous for everything, and their English becomes blurry. They say, I was going to the store and I was buying milk and I was seeing my friend. And the listener feels fog. So here's the clean rule. Use past continuous for the background and past simple for the key events that move the story forward. Background is the moving carpet. Events are the footsteps. Listen. I was walking home when I saw an old friend. We talked for a minute and then he left. Walking is background. Saw is a moment. Talked and left are completed actions. That sounds clean and native. Now I promised you the mistake most learners make. Here it is. They put past continuous on the interruption event. They say, I was watching TV when he was arriving. Often that sounds wrong because arrival is usually a point, a dot, not a line. You say, when he arrived. But can arrival ever be a line? Sometimes, yes, if you mean the process. He was arriving from Brazil, so he was exhausted. That's less common, but it's possible when you frame it as a longer process. That's a nuance you'll feel as you improve. Now the emotional contrast moment. A beginner says, I didn't answer, I was busy. Vague. A confident speaker says, sorry, I was driving when you called. Clear, specific, believable. This is why people freeze in conversations. They don't have a tense that organizes time smoothly. You do now. Series-based CTA. If you want to stop freezing and start speaking smoothly, subscribe. Each lesson connects, and you're building a complete system. Now, micro-story time. I want you inside the scene. Last night, it was raining hard. I was waiting at a bus stop, and my phone was dying. People were running past me, and cars were splashing water everywhere. I was thinking, I need to get home now. Then my phone buzzed. It was a message from a friend. Where are you? If you can feel that scene, you understand past continuous. It creates atmosphere, not just grammar. Now, your turn. Repeat after me and imagine it. It was raining. I was waiting for the bus. My phone was dying. People were rushing. Good. That's storytelling language. Authority-based CTA. If you want premium English that sounds like real life, subscribe. This is master-level coaching, not random tips. Now, remember the politeness loop? Here it is. Past continuous can soften your explanation and make it sound less aggressive. Instead of, what did you want? You can say, what were you wanting? It can sound more polite, more tentative, more gentle. But you must be careful because want is usually a state verb, and overusing it can sound strange. That brings us to the advanced insight later. Another loop. Some verbs don't like continuous, but fluent speakers sometimes use them to create a special meaning. We're almost there. Quick correction drill. Fix these. I was knowing him. 3 seconds. I knew him. Good. I was liking the food. 3 seconds. I liked the food. Great. You just upgraded your accuracy. Momentum-based CTA. If you're feeling momentum right now, subscribe and keep going. This is how your brain locks patterns into automatic speech. Now, advanced insight reveal. Here's the insider rule. Continuous forms can signal temporary or developing thoughts, even with verbs that usually describe states. This is how fluent speakers sound emotionally intelligent. I thought you were ignoring me is strong and final. I was thinking you were ignoring me is softer. It shows the thought was forming, not fixed. I understood is finished. I was understanding can sound unnatural in many cases, but I was starting to understand is perfect because it shows progress. That's the key. If you want to use state verbs with continuous, add a sense of change. Starting to, beginning to, realizing, becoming. Now it sounds advanced, not wrong. Identity-based CTA. If you want to speak like someone who understands nuance, subscribe. Fluent speakers think in meaning first, grammar second. Now the final loop. Irritation with always. He was always forgetting my name. She was always interrupting me. They were always changing the plan. That pattern adds emotion. It's not just time, it's attitude. Repeat after me with a little feeling. He was always canceling. She was always complaining. Perfect. Now we end strong. Past continuous is was or were plus ing. It creates a background scene. Use it with specific past times. Use it with while for 2 ongoing actions. Use it with past simple for interruption events. And if you want advanced control, use continuous to show thoughts developing, not fixed judgments. Comment action. Write 1 sentence using this structure. I was doing something when something happened. Make it real. And tell me where you were and what interrupted you. Tomorrow, we'll take this 1 level deeper with a tense that connects your past experience to your present confidence, and most learners completely misuse it. You won't. Keep your standards high. Speak like you mean it. See you tomorrow.